Hello and welcome into the Remix. I'm Courtney Cole and we have a lot ahead for you this week on the Remix. We talk with Marlon Wayans, yes, that Marlon, the youngest sibling of the legendary Wayans family, about his inspiration and if we're finally getting a White Chick sequel and Scary Movie 6. Plus, it's the first fully animated Looney Tunes cartoon to ever hit the big screen. We talk to the creators and the young woman playing Wednesday in a new Addams Family movie coming to Boston. But first, let's have some mozzarella and caviar on the Remix Restaurant Row.
Spring is in the air. Everyone wants to come out of hibernation, get out to their favorite spots, maybe dress up, go on a date. Executive Chef Jacob Mendros from Prima Italian Steakhouse is here right in Charlestown Square, right next to the Garden where the Bruins and the Celtics often come. Thanks for being here.
Thanks,
and you're gonna cook something up for us today that's elevated yet also approachable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so here we're making our fried mozzarella with caviar. We hand make a lot of our own cheeses in house. We hand make this mozzarella. We dredge it in Italian seasoning breadcrumbs, lots of herbs, Parmesan cheese, sesame seeds, and then after we give it a shallow fry with lots of herbs and love, it gets Island Creek's white sturgeon caviar, a little bit of lemon, and this sweet onion crema. It's delicious. Yeah.
So why don't you go ahead and start? And I've got a ton of questions off the top of my head. The first off being caviar with fried mozzarella.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's not the way a lot of people prepare it at home. Where was the inspiration for this?
Well, I think at Prima, Italian food is such a comforting thing to a lot of people.
Sure.
But we're also, like we said, we're a higher-end steakhouse. We want to deliver people the best quality product that we can. And from our food to our wine, myself and the sommelier there, Geronimo, we really try to bring the best quality ingredients while also delivering comfortability. It's a neighborhood restaurant as well as a steakhouse. There's family, there's kids, all that kind of thing. So, who doesn't love fried cheese? And then you get to experience something like caviar that you've never had before. It balances it all out.
Yeah. Yeah. The caviar, by the way, looks beautiful.
It's beautiful, yeah. Island Creek has a fantastic product. They're exclusively who we've used since we've opened. I've used them at like a dozen restaurants. They're amazing.
No kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding. And how do you judge whether or not one of your menu inspirations is a success? Is it strictly off customer feedback and the number of sales? How do you gauge whether the public says, hey, this is delicious and great?
I like to look at it as, obviously, we sell chicken parms, we sell beautiful steaks, we sell handmade pasta. Those things are kind of going to move themselves. Everybody loves that.
Yeah.
My biggest success stories on the menu and the things that I'm the most proud of, and I think that our regulars are really excited by, are the things that surprise them. So, we have some pastas that are a little untraditional. We have that, people didn't order that. They got their penne vodkas, they got their, their bolognese to start. But after they started coming and starting trying these new things, now they come back for the spicy peachy, and they come back for a sweet potato agnellotti, things that are a little bit more untraditional.
I love the idea of that because we all have our comfort zones.
Absolutely.
As customers, we want our favorite dishes. Sometimes we go into places, give me the regular. You don't even think twice about it, but this is something that's familiar, but can pull people just a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah.
Speaking of, one of those experiments that has been a wild success, you guys have gluten-free Mondays.
Yeah, every Monday, the entire menu we offer gluten-free. We keep some of those, gluten-forward classics just to make everybody happy, but you can get pizza, you can get bread, any of our pastas. All of our fried items are, in gluten-free breadcrumbs, which are delicious. They hold a really nice crisp and texture to them. The entire menu, all of our desserts. The gluten-free chocolate cake is honestly the best cake I've ever had.
Really?
It's unbelievable, yeah. It's so good.
How do you shift gears like that as a chef? I mean, because it's two distinctly different products you're serving up, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think for us, the biggest focus at first was safety. We have to deep clean that kitchen. We empty the fryer later. We empty the pasta tanks. It's like a labor of love just starting that off from, square one on Monday morning, but it makes people really happy. If we can deliver a safe experience to people that don't often get that in your conventional restaurant setting, then that just, it's worth it.
That's insane. And you've got private dining. The patio, we got to wait. We have to be a little bit patient for the patio. I believe you're opening in May, right? But you do have private dining available and reservations.
Yeah, springtime, that patio has one of the best views in Boston. You get the bridge, you get the garden, you get a little bit of everything. And then, the park room just opened in December. It was very, very quickly filled. But we've gone some of the neighborhood in there. Everyone's really excited about it. We've had, hockey teams, we've had basketball players, we've had a lot of people that are just really excited, as well as the neighborhood kids. Like, they peeking through the window from outside from the park. Like,
hey, that's
they
okay.
Love it. Yeah. And the Rose Room never disappoints. It's one of the most romantic rooms I've seen in Boston. It's always just dimly lit, has its own vibe. It's a different set of music from the front of the restaurant. It's great.
Yeah. That cooked up really quick. So before I dive in here,
I'm just gonna finish that with a little lemon zest for you.
Okay, so lemon zest on top, fried mozz, and then on the side.
Yep. We have a sweet onion crema, so sweet Spanish onions get melted down, just lots of olive oil and some prosecco.
Sweet
and
onion.
then pureed.
Okay.
Like I said, white sturgeon caviar, loads of herbs, some fresh dill, sesame seeds.
I had to try each separately to get that flavor. Let's go in. I mean, the crisp and the crunch is unbelievable. All right, fried mozz with the cheese pull and caviar. Sturgeon.
Yep, white sturgeon.
Shouldn't have doubted for a second. Wow, that is delicious.
Yeah, thank you.
The flavors all just meld together seamlessly, and just that little pinch of lemon right at the end tightens it all up.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, all right. So Prima has brunch, dinner, reservations, private room, and then we've got the patio opening in May.
Yeah.
Incredible. Got to get down after a Celtics game, Bruins game, whatever it may be, or maybe you're just walking around Charlestown checking out the Constitution, whatever it is. Chef Jacob Mendros, thank you so much for being here. Prima Italian Steakhouse in Charlestown Square.
Prima is good, I can tell you that. Coming up on the remix, a new twist on an old creepy character. The actress playing Wednesday in a new Addams Family musical tells fans what they can expect in this on-stage sensation. Now, from the 60s sitcom to Christina Ricci in the 90s and then Jenna Ortega in the most recent iteration, Wednesday is a centerpiece of the Addams Family lore. And we just sat down with an actress playing her in a new musical that'll be right here in Boston.
We're excited to have you in the studio. Tell us about your role being Wednesday here. You're going to be at the Wang Theater later this month. What has it been like for you to put your spin on it and to play her?
It's really been an honor. Wednesday is such an iconic character and is so popular these days in our cultural zeitgeist with the Wednesday Netflix show on TV and season 2 coming out soon. And so Wednesday kind of has a big brand that's really kind of back in the spotlight right now. And so to be able to step into this iconic character and also angle her towards a modern musical that's a different environment than, you know, a TV show or a movie, it has really just been a thrill.
Sure, and you talked about how she is so iconic. I mean, she's been a standout character played by famous actresses, Christina Ricci in the 90s, Jenny Ortega most recently. What, I guess, has been your process? Are you kind of watching how everyone else is doing it? Are you studying? But I'm sure you're also making sure it's original to you, too. So what's that been like?
Absolutely. It's really been a combination. I was very fortunate that I found out that I had booked this role 3 months before rehearsal started. So I had time to kind of put my glasses on and sit there with my notepad and do some research, because she is iconic, going back to Lisa Loring, who played her originally as a child in the 60s, and then of course with Christina Ricci in the movie in the 90s, in both of the movies, and now Jenna Ortega in this Netflix show and various iterations since. So I really wanted to get a sense of who Wednesday is, because fans will be coming in, you know, thrilled to see this character embodied, and I wanted to give them a sense of what they want and what they're looking forward to, and also a sprinkle of something new.
Do you think it makes it harder when there is kind of a blueprint and there is like a long history attached to a character because there is so much more material to go off of? Or do you think it actually makes it harder because it's like all that stuff already exists?
I think it is a challenge, and particularly in this case, because while this show centers around the Addams family, it's telling a new story that's different than any of the cartoons or the movies or the TV show. And so we are seeing the family in a shifted environment. And Wednesday's a slightly different character than she is in the other portrayals. She's falling in love, and that changes a person. And so I can't just take that same kind of grim, dark, goth Wednesday and now put her on stage. She needs to be bigger, more animated, and we're also watching her go through a massive identity shift. So it's about finding that initial base Wednesday and then figuring out what she becomes.
How did you get into performing arts?
I saw my first Broadway show when I was 6, 1 month before my 7th birthday, and it was Mary Poppins. I pointed to the stage at intermission, and I said, that's what I'm going to do with my life.
Oh, wow, you knew instantly.
I knew in my bones, and I was in my first local show a few months later, and then started performing locally and then off-Broadway, and have just been so lucky to be doing it ever since and telling stories.
Oh my gosh, and I know you kind of just touched on it. You said this is a different version of the Addams Family. They're going through kind of different experiences. Anything else, kind of hints of what fans can expect from this show?
Absolutely. Well, this musical itself is beloved and was on Broadway back in 2010, but what's really great about our version is even that is updated and brand new. We have a new ending, we have some changes to some of the songs, we have a bunch of new lines and new fresh jokes that are ready for modern audiences, so fans of the Addams Family IP in general can come and see all their favorite characters, Wednesday and Morticia, Gomez, Cousin It, Thing the Disembodied Hand, Pugsley, Grandma, Fester, Lurch, we've got them all in there.
Yeah.
Plus we have a new storyline, and even fans of the musical are coming and getting a new experience because it's the Addams Family, a musical comedy like they've never seen it before.
All right, how can people find tickets to this?
They can go to theaddamsfamilytour.com, or they can go right through the Wang Center and go to the Bach Theater and get the tickets there.
Okay, Melody, thank you so much. She plays Wednesday on the Addams Family, a musical comedy tour at the Wang Theater later this month. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Now that you've got the info, you've definitely got to check it out. Still to come on the remix, he's the brains behind some of the funniest comedies of the past 2 decades. We talked to Marlon Wayans about his family, Scary Movie 6, and much more. He is one of the funniest people around, and his family has created a legacy of laughs over the past 3 decades. I had the chance to sit down and talk to Marlon Wayans about everything from his famous siblings to Scary Movie 6 and those White Chicks sequel rumors. The next for you, is there going to be another White Chicks? We would love to see that. We talked about Scary Movie at the top.
There's a rumor about White Chicks happening. I'll let y'all know when White Chicks happen. White Chicks is not happening. Y'all better stop lying, putting these rumors out there. No, we ain't doing White Chicks 2. I'll let you know when that happens. When the deal is signed and the ink is dry, I'll be like, we're doing White Chicks 2, but we're not. I'm not even in talks. I'm not even thinking about White Chicks 2 right now. I am busy. We are busy doing Scary Movie 6, which comes out next summer, and that is all I'm focused on is Scary Movie 6 and touring. And I have a movie coming out September. It's a Monkey Paw production, which is Jordan Peele's company, directed by Justin Tipping. It's called Him. It's a psychological horror thriller starring myself and Tyreek. I forgot the boy, little light-skinned boy name. Tyreek, what's his last name? Tyreek something. He's just a light-skinned boy, you know.
Marlon, you were something else.
Yeah. It's a little yellow bone kid, or a little red bone. But Tyreek, what's Tyreek's last name? I don't know. Tyreek. I mentioned your name. That's good enough. Little young buck. He don't need a last name. You got to earn your last name. Just be glad I call you Tyreek.
Okay.
I kind of like being the youngest, you know, because I know that, here's the thing. My brothers did this prank on me. We did the Emmys, and I couldn't afford a suit. I just did my first movie, and I didn't want to spend $2,000 of my $50,000 on a suit because I was buying a car and then taxes. And my brother's like, stop being cheap. So I was like, here's what we'll do. I'll rent a cheap tuxedo, and you guys wear dope suits, and I'll write a sketch based on that. So I kept telling them, let's do that, because I didn't want to pay $2,000 for a tuxedo. So Damon called Keenan and was like, yo, Marlon's driving me crazy about this suit. Keenan said, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the Emmys, and we're gonna let them write that sketch, but we're not gonna acknowledge the sketch. We're gonna let them come out in a little suit and just go, and the nominees are. And that's what they did to me. And I got embarrassed in front of 60 million people that year. That was like one of the biggest years for the Emmys audience. And me in that little suit, and they said, and the Emmy and the nominees are. And I was like, oh, snap. And I cursed on screen, and sweat just started percolating on my forehead. And then afterward, I was so mad at my brothers, and so they got me, and it was a great prank.
Now, I know you want to hear more. You can watch the full interview by visiting our YouTube page and typing in CBS Boston at the top there. So to come on the remix, the day the Earth blew up, set to hit the big screen. We talked to the voice of Porky Pig and Daffy Duck and what it's like being in the first fully animated Looney Tunes movie.
Some incredibly strange things happening. I gotta do something about this. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
You know those voices and those faces. The characters, they may be nearly a century old, but for the first time ever, Looney Tunes will be on the big screen without any live action elements. The Day the Earth Blew Up premieres this weekend, and it's a Daffy Duck and Porky Pig production. And they're facing off against a fearsome alien bent on taking on the Earth with an evil bubble gum. CBS News Boston's executive producers spoke with the director and voice of Daffy and Porky about the movie.
I was writing with one of the head of stories on the film, David Gimmel, and we were just having a private Zoom about sort of generating ideas for the film and just spitballing. And I don't remember exactly how it came up, but I remember we landed on, we were looking for something to sort of spread this aliens, the takeover, right? And we were like, what's a funny way or a clever way? And gum came up, and gum is an awesome thing in the world because it's funny. Bubblegum's sort of inherently funny. You can do a lot of stuff with it. You can stretch it, you can blow it to bubbles, you can stick it to something. It comes in different shapes and forms and packages and all that stuff. And it just stuck, literally.
What was your favorite part about making it, to both of you? What was your favorite part about making it?
I mean, anytime you get a chance to, I like to call it, put on the superhero cape or the Santa suit with these characters is always a treat, especially when you're going through U.S. Customs from Canada. There's no better way to get through U.S. Customs than in Daffy's voice. They could be smuggling anything into the country, and if I just do this, I'm a free man. But yeah, getting to do this in their very first feature film, I mean, that alone is one for the history books. Getting to have worked with Pete and the gang previous on Looney Tunes cartoons is amazing, because usually when you start something like this, you may have to train people from scratch. But they had already been working with these characters for several years, as including myself. So really what you're seeing is the best of all their training and all they've ever done for the previous years, and why I think the movie looks so great than most other 2D films that are hitting the screens now.
You know what? Getting to see the face behind the voice, that was a really cool moment. You guys know we grew up on Looney Tunes. For the full interview with the voice of Daffy and Porky and the director Peter Brownhart, head to our YouTube channel, CBS News Boston, and be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for joining us here on The Remix. We will be back next week for more lifestyle, community, and entertainment news. See you then.